Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my podcast. If you're a new listener, thanks for stopping by. And if you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Today, I am here with my good friend of, oh gosh, how long has it been? Like 4 years, maybe? Maybe five? I don't even know.
Yeah. I would say probably was it like late 2020 that we met?
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's
or mid
it's
20.
been a
Yeah,
good
it's
amount of
been
time.
yeah.
But this is Emily Kady, and she is one of those people that I attracted into my life. I'm just gonna say it, Em. I pulled you in because you have such a good grounded sense of everything, but you're also super spiritually connected. And so in a lot of ways, you're the person I look up to spiritually. I'm like, I want to be as
Oh,
connected as Emily is.
oh, I did not know that. Thank you. That's
Yes,
so
of
sweet. You're so
course.
connected.
In a different way. So,
Yeah, we all have
but
our own paths.
we do, absolutely. But Emily is connected to her spirit guides, and she has this very robust spiritual team that's like behind her in spades. And I'm always like, oh man, Emily, just tell me who my guides are. I'm trying to connect to them. And so she's just one of those people that she's always good to come to. And she's just like, yes, this is good for you to know. This is what I'm feeling. I'm like, okay, thanks for the confirmation. So, Emily, how did you get involved with spirituality? Have you always been this connected to your guides? Is this a new thing? Tell me everything, please.
I will tell you everything. So I've
Okay.
always been connected ever since I was a kid. I could always see them, hear them. I was a kid that couldn't sleep in my room because I had spirits in my room and they would freak me out. So in the middle of the night, usually I'd be running, grabbing my pillow and a blanket and run. And my parents' house was like a big C shape, and their room was on one side, and my sisters and mine were on the other.
Oh
And
my.
I would just be so scared, but I'd just grab my pillows and blankets. Either I'd be hiding at the foot of my bed under all the covers, or I would be running throughout the whole house to get to my mom and dad's room so I could sleep on the floor. I would rather be on the floor in their room than in my room with all the spirits. I didn't know how to manage the spirits. I didn't know they were just always there. I also I could see they were always around. I could see them everywhere. But I remember there's I think three different occasions where I had them talking multiple, like when I say multiple, like 30 different voices at the same time talking to my head.
Whoa, that's a
And
lot.
I remember going, this makes me feel really sick and nauseous because I can't understand what's going on and what they're saying. There's too much. And on the third time it had happened, I said, guys, I can't have you do this. You're making me feel like I'm going crazy. You have to stop. They went silent,
Whoa.
completely silent until I was like 19. So that was probably like 7, 8, 9 years old when that happened. Quiet until I was 19. And then they resurfaced. At that time, when I was 19, I was at UC Santa Cruz, a very metaphysical, spiritual part of California. I think there's some just powerful energy portals there. Actually, I know, not I think. And so we I'm in this school. I'm really not a left brain person. I'm a right brain person. I'm very connected to the spiritual realm. So I start taking massage classes. Actually, I started out with acupressure. I start going into energy work and learning that while still going to college. But I was just so into really connecting with the spiritual realm in my early 20s. And so that just kind of took me to, down the path of connecting with the spiritual world again. I reopened it. I've had a few different times where I've closed it. What I had found in my lifetime is if my vibration is low, meaning I'm depressed, I'm exhausted, overworked, overwhelmed, again, my left side of my brain is not as developed, meaning it's really hard for me to function in a world that is very left brain functioned. The school systems, everything. It's about reading and comprehending and taking the test and stuff. Whereas mine is more like imagination and creativity. So I had to force myself to fit into this world, and it took me through a lot of exhaustion. And so what I found is when I was exhausted trying to fit into this world, I would start to get depressed or things. So when I was depressed, I would pull in lower level entities
Mm.
and they would play, they're like prankster spirits. They would just play games with me and cause more trauma and frustration for me. So there were times in my life I would turn it off again, and walk away from my spirituality because of fear for my own safety and life. And then in 2015, so about 10 years ago, I had a near death experience. And when I had that experience, my gifts came in at a very it's just so much more powerful than they had ever been before.
Wow.
And at the time I was married to a man that had wanted to get out of the marriage for 7 years, but I did not know how to. I just felt like I needed to stay in that marriage. um, and I had two businesses that I ran and operated. They were very successful businesses. But right after my NDE, within 6 months, I had left my husband without any emotion. And within a year, I closed my businesses, knowing that my husband at the time and my businesses were taking me down a path that I didn't belong. I was supposed to follow the metaphysical, the spiritual path that I am currently on. I
Mm.
want to be somebody that can be a light to help guide people through life. Life is challenging. In this 3D world we're in, this energy is so heavy. And
It's heavy.
yeah, and I just want to help people find levity and joy and clarity in these times, especially right now, these times, because knowing that we do have guides and we have support all around us really can help us um, find joy in this world.
I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
Okay, so you had all of this connection since you were young. You had this near death experience. You are in contact with the spiritual realm on a very, very consistent basis and everything. But what I want to know is how can us lay people out here connect with our spirit guides? Because I know we all have this like huge spirit team behind us helping us navigate through these lives, and we can do it in so many different ways, but sometimes it's really hard. I have a very hard time connecting to any of my ancestors or spirit guides, no matter how many hours of meditation I do, no matter how many altars I trying to, keep up and everything. I just find it very difficult. So what kind of tips do you have for me here, Em?
Um, well, so I think the biggest thing is to just accept what your gifts are. So maybe your gifts aren't the same as mine and they show up in different ways. And just allow yourself to play and not have expectations and just play with seeing how your guides show up for you. Like I can see and hear mine, literally, but your guides just now showed you a falcon out front.
True. That's true.
So they're showing up in different ways for you. And so taking the time to just ask for, or when you see something that catches your eye like that, go, what was I just thinking about? Or what was I just saying? And your guides are confirming, yeah, you're right. And the more that you acknowledge that and you thank them, like, wow, thank you for this, that's the more they're going to show up. The state of gratitude is everything. Everything. I mean, I constantly I have my one guide, and his name's Walter, and you guys can use him. I love Walter. Walter is my parking guide. And so he gets me parking spots everywhere I go. And so anytime I need to go somewhere, I know it's going to be busy. I always call in Walter. Walter, thank you for getting me the perfect parking spot for where I'm going. I'm okay if I need to walk. I just want to be able to find one, right? But generally, he gets me parking right up front and center. He also
Nice.
helps me when, you're in a busy intersection and there's no light and you got to make a left turn out of like a shopping mall or whatever, and there's no light. And it's like, all lanes are going at once and it's just constant cars and you can't make this left turn because it's just too much traffic. I also will call in Walter and say, "Hey Walter, can you create that perfect opening that's safe for me and gives me enough time to get out of this shopping center or wherever I'm at, make that left that I need to make?"
That's
And he will
awesome.
do that. So I am constantly calling on my guides for little help like that. And the more you do that, and I'm always, again, I'm in state of gratitude. I say thank you before as I'm asking. Um, you'll see things open up for you. You'll see the opportunities of like the parking space or that ability to pull up and there's no traffic where there's normally traffic and you get to make that left turn without any stress or sitting there for 10 minutes, or going, screw it, I'm going to go right and then make a U-turn up here. You don't have to do that. It's just, I'm constantly like forecasting where am I going, and I'm calling on my guides to direct me to make it as smooth and easy as possible.
That's amazing. And so Walter is your cosmic traffic guy. That's
Yeah.
amazing that you have him.
Hmm.
And parking attendant, which is really nice. Thank you for
Yes.
letting us all use him. I will definitely be calling on him.
Yeah.
But I know that you have talked to me about how you have other guides for very specific purposes in your life too. So is that something that we should just think about, like picking like, okay, I need some help with um I don't know, growing these flowers or like making sure that my garden is tended to and, good for the bee population or whatever. Is that something that we can just like ask them
Hmm.
and
Hmm. Yeah, I do all
okay.
the time. But I ask for the divine. If I don't have
Okay.
a relationship with the guide, I will ask for a divine. Okay, for instance, I do have my background, my businesses that I had were in Amazon. I had two businesses on Amazon where I brought a private labeled product and sold it. And so I have an extensive background in that. And I have one client that I manage his Amazon business. I've done this for years, and it takes me minutes a month, but just to manage because I know what I'm doing. However,
Mhm.
this weekend I had an issue come up. And when his issue came up, it was over the weekend. I just wanted to enjoy my weekend. I didn't want to put a lot of brain power into what needed to be done. So I just called forward a divine guide that is an expert Amazon seller that could help me troubleshoot this issue. And so I will call in, but I always make sure they're from the divine because we can
Oh,
easily call in spirits that we don't want. So higher realm, divine guides, please come in. Um, because as I was talking about early on, if my depression or if I'm depressed or my vibration's low, I'm going to pull in those lower level entities, and they are pranksters and they mess with us. So in this situation with my client, and it was over the weekend, it was yesterday morning, and I was tired and I just wanted the day off, but it was an urgent matter. And so I'm like, okay, I need help. I need that brain power to give me the message that what needs to come through that I can resolve this right away. And within minutes, I had the answer I needed to write up the support ticket to send to Amazon.
that's
So,
amazing.
yeah, so I am always calling my divine higher realm beings for specific areas. So I do have guides that are on my team that help me with anything from finances to health to I have a guide for my pets. I have a guides all around. I have, like my divine mother. I have a bunch. I work with the archangels and I work with Christ consciousness. I have a huge team that I've called in, but I've had guides want to join my team, and I have to kind of like interview them. Like, why do you want
Oh,
to be here? I don't want just anybody because you get too many, it gets too crowded. And so I want to know who's on my team, why do you want to be on my team, and how can how can we work together? Does it make sense? And so when I interview my guides, I'm automatic writing. I'm literally
oh,
automatic writing and writing a question and letting them write through me.
oh, that is so cool. Okay, that's amazing. Well, first, let's you're at the level of where you can interview guides coming in. It's very cool. Okay, so if we are someone who is wanting to connect with our guides, but we cannot hear them necessarily and we cannot see them, and we're getting signs kind of randomly and not very consistently. Okay, so this is my first question. If we just talk to like out loud in the universe and say, universe guides, my the house is getting too loud, everybody's getting a little bit angry. Can you bring in some energy to like, or help me bring in some energy to calm it down? I don't think I'm crazy, but if I'm just so generalized, is there going to be a guide like, got this. Let's go. Like,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I call in grandmother Anna in
Grandma
situations
Anna.
like that. So
Okay.
grandmother Anna is Jesus's grandmother, Mother Mary's mother.
Oh, wow.
And
I had no
so,
idea.
yeah. And so I will call her in and I will ask her to kind of help diffuse the situation by transmuting all the energy in the house and turning it into bringing it back into coherence, harmony, and balance, and transmute it into love, light, joy, and abundance.
I love that. So we
So
have
that's,
Walter and we have Grandma Anna.
yeah, yeah. So that's how I start my day with her every day.
Oh.
She cleanses my house.
And she's willing to work with anyone
Oh,
who
yeah,
calls on her?
yeah, absolutely. She's Jesus's grandmother, and she's a divine mother, here to help us right now.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that so much. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So I'm definitely going to use Grandmother Anna or Grandma Anna. What does she prefer?
I
Either?
call her grandmother, but you call her
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to the dark entities. If you are feeling in a funk and you are trying to, there's always these times when you are trying to grow spiritually and everything that sometimes it's just really hard to break through that to that next level of vibration, right? Where things start to just fall away. And that frequency where you're like, okay, I'm feeling good. This stuff is working. Things are falling away that I don't need anymore. If you are trying to get there and you might have some kind of dark entities that's kind of like messing with your vibe, how are we going to get rid of them?
Um, love, love, love,
That's
love,
it.
love,
Okay.
love, love. Okay, so love and light just totally will outshine any dark entity. However, if you have fear, that fuels them.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Okay.
cannot have fear. You have to believe your body is sovereign. They have no right to you. Your home is sovereign as long as you keep it clean and if there's certain activities that are a lower level entities or a vibration like porn or abusive things,
Mm.
that's going to bring in lower level entities. You have to
Okay.
clear your house out of that. Um, but yes, if you have everything clear and you believe you're sovereign and you don't have fear, you can just pull in love and light and just send them off to where they're meant to go. Now, some
Okay.
people, the fear is too much. Um, I do work with clients that have entities attached to them.
Mhm.
I get them attached to me all the time. If I don't have protection on, I will get them. I go out and in downtown or whatever, and they attach. Especially those of us that are awakening, and we have a bright light. They tend to come to us, and they'll suck our energy.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so it's just, all right. I will send them love and I'll just ask maybe Archangel Michael, or I will ask their own spirit team. Every soul has a spirit team.
Even the dark entities?
Mhm.
Oh,
So I will
interesting.
ask their spirit team to take them to where they belong.
Oh, okay. That is a
Mhm.
nice way to do that, right?
Yeah,
Like, because we
yeah,
want to help everyone for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely. I had a client once and he's like in his early 20s and he had a really dark, 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 dark entity attached to him. And this entity did not want to leave him. But in this process, it was like his mother came forward, and his mother was, I'm trying to remember the details, and the mother came forward and was like, I want to love on you. You've been misguided and misdirected. So I share this story because people are like, oh, the dark entities, they're awful. They're awful. They're broken. Yes, some of them they do harmful things, but they're broken and they still deserve to have love. And this entity, its mother came step forward and is like, come with me. Let me just love on you and help you. Um,
Wow.
yeah. And it was like, it made me cry because this entity was ugly and scary. But it was like, no, it wasn't.
Wow. Well, I feel like now more than ever, as the world is in such chaotic turmoil and everything, you're going to have a lot more of these entities that are going to be attracted to all the fear and anxiety and these terrible, terrible vibes. So, visualizing yourself as a ball of light, sending them off with love, is that going to be enough to do it? Or are we going to need to do something a little bit more heavy duty and ritualistic?
Every morning, I start out the day with, and I can give you the link to it if you want, my morning routine, which is asking Archangel Michael basically to keep put protection around me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I want to be protected in anything and everything I do. I still do get entities attached to me on days I forget to do it. um, or maybe emotionally I just drop. Like something happens and I drop in my emotion, I can feel them come on. So yes, the ball of light would be a source of protection to start your day with that. And then yeah, just not having any fear. There is a lot of fear out there. Um, when this is the one thing that my guides are wanting me to share with you right now is like when you meet fear with fear or you meet anger with anger, you're just creating more explosion. So they're saying it's like if you have a crying baby and you approach the crying baby crying and screaming at it, what are you going to accomplish? So what we want to do is and we can do this the more healing that we do because we get triggered by our own wounds. We get triggered by other people. Like what's going on in the world right now, the unjust and whatnot is really triggering for many of us.
Mhm.
But to look at those and go, okay, what's going on inside of me? Why am I getting triggered? How can I heal? Because if I can heal, then I'm not going to be that parent, the screaming parent coming at the crying baby. I'm going to be at the nurturing, loving parent coming at the crying baby saying, okay, how do we resolve this? Even though it's like what's going on in the world is way out of our individual power, but if we can heal ourselves and send out compassion and love because that's what the world needs right now. There's so much anger and loss of self-worth, but if we can send out compassion and love for ourselves, then we can send it out to others, and that has a powerful ripple effect. Did I answer your question?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And I appreciate it so much because I feel like that is exactly what I can feel, but it's always good to have someone else confirm it.
Yeah, the other thing too that they my guides keep showing me like our chakras, and a lot of the times we're just in the upper chakras.
Mm,
And so the importance of really getting into your root chakra. You need to like this is key in this moment of so much uncertainty and vulnerability to be into your root chakra. And the more that we are in our root chakra, and Christy, I feel like you're totally grounded. Um, I have to work on this daily, but the more that we can be in our root chakra, then the other chakras get in alignment and balance, and then you have better access to your spirit team and guides.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's a good tip to have, right? So, good ways to get into your root chakra are going outside, being in nature, sitting on the floor, laying down. I was actually reading this book called Self Sorcery by Lisa Lister. Have you ever heard of her?
I
She has
have
these
not.
really great books about feminine energy and witch wounds and everything. And she was
Mm,
saying
I'll have to check.
that,
You got some good book recommendations. I can't wait to read them.
oh, yeah, I attract really good book titles. So
I
I'll
love
give
it.
those to you.
Please.
But she was saying that she practices somatic movement, which is a very, very popular thing right now, right? Especially for to bring in that feminine energy. And she said that one of her somatic teachers said that oftentimes people physically and energetically like lean into things. And I know that I have said it like lean into the energy of the moon, lean into that and everything. But actually, what you want to do is you want to lean back and almost like ground your shoulders or the center of your back against a rock, a tree, your chair, the floor, or whatever. Because when you lean in, you are leaning in towards like the future. But when you lean back, you're leaning into that remembrance of your body and that ancient knowledge. And you're just like really grounding into yourself and into the earth.
So good. I
I
love
know.
that. I
Wasn't that a
love
great
that.
tip? So
That's
good.
amazing.
I
Yes. And
know.
you're being supported. And
Yes.
that's the root chakra.
Yes. And so I'm gonna have to like redo my language about leaning in because I was like, that's just what is the common term, but you want to really
Mm-hmm.
lean back into it. And I just tried it this weekend and I was like, wow, that feels so much better. It feels so much more secure and everything. So
I'm going to
grounding
do
is so
that. Thank
easy.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And why are we so hesitant to ground? I don't know, but it's like a fear of being in our actual physical bodies.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, we don't even realize. I know this is something that I have a lot of issues with is getting in contact and in embodiment and everything. And I've been told this so many times over the years, you need to get into your body. You need to get into your body, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. And now I'm like, dang it. I think they might have been right.
Yes,
It
but
makes a big
you
difference.
feel really grounded to me.
Good. I've worked on that a lot over the last
Okay.
couple of years,
Yes,
but
it's
it took me a
definitely.
long time.
Yeah, it takes some time to get there. I work on it every day.
Yeah, it's not easy. And I think it really is a matter of experimenting and finding out what works for you. So
Mhm.
if you are having trouble with that, there's a ton of resources out
Yeah, well,
there
I
on how
love
to
the
ground.
leaning back, trying to
I
just like
know.
trust and being supported.
Yes,
So
because
good.
really it is a matter of trust, right? You have to trust that the universe has got your back. And even though in all of this chaos that is going around, like you have an entire team of spirit guides, you have the universe, we are all here to like move towards something that we don't know. And we have to go through these things sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we are in the middle of this crazy shift right now, and
Yeah.
we are moving into the unknown,
Yeah. And it's
literally.
scary.
It is. So getting
It's,
into our root chakra and getting as centered as possible is key right now to help us be able to have that clear mind and that knowing that we have the guidance to help us navigate it all.
I agree. Well, Emily, I don't want to take up all your time because I could ask you questions all day long. Absolutely. But can you please tell everyone where they can find you so that they can come and work with you? Because I've had sessions with Emily and they've been like mind blowing. So you're going to want to get on that so that
Oh,
she can help you connect to your spirit guides because we all need this team out there. And I do thank you so much for, introducing us to Walter and Grandma Anna. I know I'm going to be using them. Like I
I
had
love
no idea.
it. I know. Anything to make our lives easier, right? It's so
Yes.
important. I love that.
Well, it just feels
Um,
nice to have that safety.
yes. So my website is Emily Kady and it's KADY.com. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, as well as Emily Kady. And yeah, I'm here to help support and guide you into your spiritual journey so that, I think we all have our own spiritual journey and it's being able to be guided by your team so that you can open up and be um, comfortable as you navigate the unknown. So that's one thing. And I do want to say, Christy, you are a phenomenal human design reader and really helping people know like why they're here and what their purpose is. And I don't know if you promote your website on your channel here, but I really highly recommend getting a reading from Christy if you're kind of at a sorts of like, why do certain things happen? Always happen. What is this? Why do I keep running into this brick wall? Why haven't I learned my life lesson? Whatever it may be, whether it's financial or relationships or whatever. Christy is phenomenal at human design, getting to you to understand yourself better, your patterns better, and how you can correct them. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses to really step into your truth in this lifetime?
Oh, thank you, Emily. That's so sweet of you. I
It's
appreciate
important.
that.
I love your work. I think it's so powerful.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
This is why we love Emily and why we also collaborate. I collaborate with her on Manifesting with the Moon with Stephanie Cartwright. So definitely check her out over there too.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. I love that so
It's so
much.
much fun.
It's like my favorite 2 times of the month that we get together.
I know it is so, so much fun. So I'm
Yeah,
going to drop that link below too. And
awesome.
if you don't mind sending us your morning routine
Yeah,
link
absolutely.
too.
Yep, I will give you that. And yeah,
Thank
go from there.
you. And thank you so much for coming today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I've been wanting to interview you for a while. I just haven't gotten in gear yet. And I'm glad I did.
Well, here we are. I'm
Here
so
we
glad.
are.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you so much, Emily. And we will catch everyone later. Bye.